What's up, guys, and welcome to the Common Sense Football Show. It's been a long time. I've took a little hiatus from this YouTube channel. Life has been busy. I've been busy with other commitments, work and so on and so forth, but I'm back, and no better time to come back than when Arsenal and Manchester City are fighting it out for the Premier League title. Absolutely blockbuster. So many things has happened in the world of football and English football since my last video. So I'm just going to recap briefly this week and the title running, starting with Arsenal versus Chelsea at the Emirates. Arsenal smashing Chelsea 5-0. The first half was competitive, to be fair. Leandro Trossard scoring the early goal. Chelsea showing a little bit of character. Jackson missing a couple of chances, and then Arsenal taking over in the second half, thrashing Chelsea 5-0 on the day. Chelsea capitulating. Their main man and a player that I'm a massive fan of, Cole Palmer, wasn't able to play due to injury. He's a fantastic player, but that's how it is. Arsenal charging on and Chelsea limping along. Now, my view on Chelsea and Poch is that they've had an awful season. A lot has been made of the money that they've spent, close to $1 billion on players that ain't up to the standard, players that are not the price tag, players like Enzo, players like Caicedo, which are still good players, young players, but they're not at the level, they're not at the price tag. Players like Mudryk. Listen, some of these players have potential, like Caicedo, like Mudryk, like even Jackson. He has potential. Mudryk just seems to be somewhat in the mold of an Anthony. Pretty awful, to be honest. Badia Shill, awful. Kukurea, to be fair, done well against Saka. He showed, that he could defend one-on-one against one of the best right forwards in the league. Mudryk not helping him as much as he should have. But listen, the Bucks with Poch. Now, I'm not a massive Poch fan. I think things under Chelsea were a lot better with Graham Potter. Graham Potter, he didn't have a pre-season. He didn't get a chance to sign any of his players. Poch had a pre-season. He got a chance to sign some players that he would have wanted, and they're still much worse than they were under Graham Potter. Now, sections of the media, the pundits, they were all over Graham Potter, saying he isn't the sort of manager that should be for Chelsea, that befits Chelsea. The fan base wanted him out. He's not Chelsea material. Then they sack him, and things weren't so bad. The style of play weren't so bad. They were playing a good style of football. The results were a little bit, here and there. But they weren't getting thrashed. They weren't getting embarrassed. They weren't capitulating. Poch comes in, one of the most overrated managers that I've ever seen because of the work they did with Spurs, with Harry Kane and some of the other core English players at the time, Dele Alli, Harry Kane, and so on and so forth. And somehow he gets a pass. He's had a pre-season. He's had a transfer window. And they are absolutely awful. No character, no substance. He's supposed to be known to make young players better. Absolute bullshit. And for some reason, the media and the pundits give him a free pass. It's complete lazy journalism. It's mind-boggling, and it pisses me off. Poch is awful, overrated, not a winner. He's a loser. He should be sacked. And I'm not big for calling for sackings. But if you're going to talk about Poch Ten Hag, and, this guy has been, this season, despite what he done last season, with some of these players that have been there since the Mourinho and Solskjaer time, players that he didn't sign, Poch Ten Hag has been absolutely pummeled by the media and the pundits. It's been uncomfortable to watch, actually. I call it bullying. It's basically bullying. The guy got Man United third, got them to 2 cup finals, winning the Carabao Cup with that squad, which some of those players are embarrassingly bad. So I call that a miracle last season. They've fallen off a little bit this season. But they're still in the cup final, FA Cup, that I hope they win. And they're still sixth for the league above Newcastle and Chelsea. Eddie Howe gets a pass. Poch gets a pass. They've been awful. But Eric Ten Hag has been absolutely slated by the media and the pundit, which is wrong. And he came firing back in a press conference this week, which good on him. Good on him. And for the good of football, Man United need to be up there. I hope that Ineos, the new regime in charge of the sports side of Manchester United, give him a chance, give him a transfer window. The one thing I will criticise Eric Ten Hag about is his signings. Anthony's awful. I don't think he signed Casemiro. I don't think that was his signing. I know he wanted De Jong, but they had to get someone in. Amrabat's been awful. So the signings, he needs to learn. The recruitment needs to be better. Onana's coming good now. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. But he's worked miracles with some crappy, rubbish players from the old regimes. And he's reached 3 finals in 2 seasons with Manchester United. Hopefully he gets the FA Cup. And if he can finish in a European place and try and kick on again next year with the new regime, with the new structure, then hopefully that will breed success from a football point of view. But you need to be fair. If you're gonna slate off Ten Hag, then Poch deserves the same sort of a treatment from the media, and I'm going to call it out. It is utterly wrong, and it shows you that sections of the media and the pundits, they do have an agenda against certain managers and teams when they feel like it. And they're Poch, even though they're getting smashed, no trophies, they're crap, they're 10th in the league, they're not going to get into Europe. No, it's all right, Poch deserves another. No, be fair. Don't be lazy with your journalism, and be fair. Put the agendas aside, be neutral, be fair, and judge people by the same standards, right? And that's what we do on this show. That's what I do on this show. And that's what I'm going to continue bringing. In terms of Manchester United, I'm going to talk about them quickly. They managed to beat Sheffield United 4-2. A couple of uncomfortable moments, but they managed to show a bit of character and to fight back. Manchester United, all they can hope for is to finish the season in the Premier League as strong as they can, finish as high up the table as they can, and try and beat Manchester City in the FA Cup. Liverpool. Now, them losing in the Merseyside derby is fantastic. For Arsenal, for Manchester City. It's a 2-horse race now, I believe. Now, I was hoping they were going to lose, but I wasn't sure if they would, because their record over the last 10 plus Merseyside derbies have been pretty dominant. Klopp's record is pretty much dominance. So they lost. Daishi, with a good game plan, out-muscled them, bullied them, and got the job done. It's interesting because since Klopp said he was leaving in January, their form was a little bit indifferent, but they have sort of capitulated. Whether or not that was the right time to say it, I don't know, but they have faded. Darwin Núñez is, and I'm a massive fan of Darwin Núñez, his form has sort of petered out. Salah's form. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Liverpool when Klopp goes. I know they're linked to the Feyenoord manager, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Liverpool. I'm a fan of Liverpool. They're a legacy club, but they're out this title race, losing to Everton in the Merseyside derby, and it was a fantastic game of football. Tonight, we have Manchester City away at Brighton. Now, Brighton have got a very good record at home, and they are sort of one of Manchester City's bogey teams. I'm hoping from an Arsenal perspective that Manchester City drop some points and they get a draw. They lose. Because they need to, even if Arsenal win every game to the end of the season, they need to drop some points somewhere if Arsenal are going to win this Premier League. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be tense. Haaland isn't available, and they're not firing on all cylinders like City usually do. They have gone down a couple of levels. Obviously, losing Gundogan, losing Mahrez, they're not at the same level that they were last year. That is clear. Haaland isn't at the same level. He won't be playing tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how they finish the season. I don't think they're going to win every game. I think they are going to drop points. But it's whether or not Arsenal can be dominant and win every game. Now that's moving us on to the North London derby. I'm going to preview that game on the weekend. It's on Sunday, I believe. Arsenal need to win every game. Now, one of the aces in Arteta's sleeve is the fact that he was finally able to deploy the midfield that we've all been calling for: Thomas Partey, Declan Rice and Odegaard. And you just saw Declan was free. Odegaard was immense against Chelsea. And Partey was able to basically do a single pivot and dominate Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. And a fit Thomas Partey is one of the best sixes, defensive midfielders in the world. Now, obviously, he's had his injury issues this season. And I said earlier in the season that I believe that if Partey can get fit, that will be the ace up Mikel Arteta, up the gaffer's sleeve, to deploy that trio in midfield to try and finish the season strong. Partey can't play full seasons, but he can play the last 5 games of the season at a high level. It's like basically he's like a new player. He's hardly played all season. Fresh legs. And with those 3 in midfield, I believe Arsenal can dominate every game in midfield that they play. And if you win the midfield battle, you usually win the game. So I believe that is the ace up the gaffer's sleeve. I hope he doesn't tinker with anything like he did against Villa. I hope he just keeps the same team, the same formation, the same system, and says, all right, go on, lads. Let's just overpower teams, dominate them, and grind out results. So it's going to be very interesting this end to the season. I hope as an Arsenal fan that we can deliver the Premier League title. I know that some of you guys out there hope that we don't deliver the Premier League title, and there's a lot of banter that's going on, within the fan community and within some of our personal friends who support Manchester United, Tottenham and Chelsea. There's a lot of banter, but I hope that we can deliver the Premier League title, and I do think that we are going to do it. Key games coming up this week and the coming weeks to decide this Premier League title. It might go to the last game of the season, and Tottenham will have a big part to play. They still got to play Liverpool. Liverpool are not out of it yet mathematically. They have to play Arsenal and they have to play Manchester City, both at home. So let's enjoy the ride. It's going to be a bumpy one. Thank you guys for tuning into today's video. I'll be back tomorrow for another one. And I just want to say, I do love bringing out this football content. Football is one of my passions, and I want to build this community. I want to make sure this community stays real, stays authentic. So please, guys, all that good stuff, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Peace.